All right. Here we are with the training for week 6. Crazy that it's already
I
week
know.
6. What the heck? All right, let me bring this up full screen. Here we are. Okay. So our week 6 training is all around authentic selling and sales. So what we're diving into today is the sales module. We're reframing sales to make it seem way more accessible, way more empowering, because I know that this is a tricky subject for so many entrepreneurs who, like, we're so passionate about what we're here to do, what our mission is, and how we want to impact the world. And we wish we could just do that without having to do the sales and have the clients magically come to us. But this is such a real part of running a business. In fact, like, sales is your business. Your business does not exist without sales, without a seamless process for clients to come into your world, to realize that you are the obvious choice that they want to work with, and then having that way for them to pay you and work with you, and having all of that outlined in a really seamless and beautiful way. So let's cover that. So you're going to learn the formula for authentic conversations that position your offer as the bridge between where your dream customer is now and where they want to be. And why I'm focusing on conversations is because this is what I want you to have in mind. Whether you are talking with someone one-on-one, obviously that's a conversation. Whether you are posting content, that's kind of a one-sided conversation, but it's still a conversation that you're having with potential clients. When you're in the DMs, those are conversations with people. Sales calls, those are conversations. So it's all relationship building through these authentic conversations, connecting human to human, heart to heart, and just identifying if they have a need, if they have a desire for the very thing that you have built a business around providing, around solving that problem and helping them get to that desire. That's all we're doing. When we zoom back from sales, like, we just need to know if they need help with the thing that we specifically help people with. And hopefully that makes it seem a little bit more accessible, a little bit more fun. So my intention is really to empower you to have this squeaky clean energy and like a bulletproof mindset around promoting your offer and engaging with leads. Magnetic sales do happen. And by that, I mean like people that come out of nowhere. They haven't been engaging with your content. Like, you literally have no idea where they came from, and they book a call with you and they're on your calendar and you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea who this person is. Like, they weren't referred to me. They weren't engaging with my content, and now they're here and they're ready. And like, this is absolutely what we are like putting you in a position to be able to attract through your content, through your network, through your referrals. But real businesses are built through direct outreach, because we can't have consistent sales if we're just relying on those magical magnetic sales to happen. They're not reliable. They're not consistent. So we need that consistent process. We need a way for you to like plan your time around the action items and the steps that are going to fill up your sales pipeline with potential clients and leads. And that happens primarily through direct outreach. So to grow your business, you must be prepared to find your customers, to build these relationships and communicate the value of what you offer. So a little bit of a pre-frame into what we're talking about today. There are really only 4 ways to generate leads, which are contacts. And these leads are the people that lead to sales. So a lead is just simply someone that you have the email, the phone number, or the social media profile for. Now, there is warm outreach. These are leads that have already given you permission to contact them. These are people that you're friends with on social media. These are phone numbers in your phone book. These are, people that you know and interact with in real life, anyone that you have emails for, like your network is where warm outreach happens. Cold outreach would be like going door to door, or there are services that provide you with names and numbers and emails of people like in your local area, for example. So you could buy those contacts and then you'd start calling people, cold calling. I'm not a huge fan of cold outreach, so that's not something that I teach. That's not something that I practice. The third option is paid ads. So ads on social media. Again, this is not an arena that I play in because I think it's really important to clearly have a proof of concept established. What I mean by that is that your messaging is on point, your sales process is dialed in, and like you're already consistently serving people like nearly at capacity, because you can grow your business organically to 10K months and like be fully sustained, fully thriving in your business. And then at that point, that's where paid ads would probably get you to the next level, would get you in a position to hire a team, expand, that sort of thing, if that's your goal. So anyway, we're not talking about paid ads this week either. And then there's content creation, which allows you to reach strangers on the internet and bring them into your warm audience. So warm outreach and content creation are the two methods that I focus on, the two methods that I teach. There are pros and cons to each of these different methods, but we will get into more detail on that warm outreach, and content creation is coming next week. So today we're focusing on that sales pipeline through warm outreach. Okay. So a little bit of my story. I built a business on pure content creation. So zero outreach, zero high ticket offers. Like, just so you know, it's possible. Like, you can just show up and create content. And if that's something that's really exciting to you, like, dial in all your efforts in that direction. But it's really not what I recommend if consistent cash flow is a priority, because when you're really at the whims of social media and the algorithms and everything changing in the content creation landscape all the time, that's something that you have to keep up with, and it's unpredictable. So I got my first high ticket client through direct outreach, and I really think that this personal approach is really necessary when it comes to high ticket sales, because people are more inclined to purchase low ticket offers from people just through content, just through ads that they're seeing online. But when you're making a big investment, you want to know, who is the person behind this purchase? Like, who am I signing up to work with? Who am I signing up to learn from? Whatever that's looking like. So that's how I got my first clients, and that's how I've continued to build my business and generate leads for my high ticket offers. Now, I know that a lot of people, so many of us, are opposed to direct outreach. I was skeptical and hesitant in the beginning, for sure. And I understand the complaints and the concern, because there is a lot of really bad outreach that happens. And that's why your authenticity, your humanness, your heart is of the utmost importance here, because nothing interrupts, like, okay, people are afraid of getting sold to. So they have their guard up whenever they are anticipating any kind of sales conversation, if it's not something that they've expressed interest in, and they're directly coming to you like, hey, what does this look like? I want to work together. When you're approaching other people, they're kind of hesitant. So anything that you can do to infuse humanness and your authenticity into this experience interrupts the pattern. So bad outreach happens when you get sent a copy-pasted message in the DMs from someone who doesn't follow you, who you never engage with your content, and you're like, delete. Yeah, is that even working for anyone? I have no idea. I doubt it. But warm outreach is coming from a place of like, someone engaged with your content, or someone that you're genuinely friends with, and you just want to connect with and just see what's going on in their life, learn about what they're doing for work, share about your new exciting offer or your new business endeavor. So it's coming from a place of connection and this desire to form relationships. So voice notes can be really powerful as well, because that is like the human touch. You're not worried about or the person on the receiving end isn't worried about being in a conversation with a bot or, someone's assistant for those larger accounts that use the DM strategy. So as you're going through this process, the invitation is always to come from the perspective of how can I approach this in a way that is the most authentic to me, feels good to me, and to where I can trust that really my greatest focus in this interaction, in this conversation, is just connecting heart to heart, human to human, and building that relationship. All right, so our agenda for today, we are reframing sales. We're going to have a whole conversation about bringing an empowered energy to sales, cleaning up that energy, looking at our money mindset and what those stories might be that have made this seem icky or like just an unfortunate part of the process, and seeing if we can turn this into something really powerful and beautiful, in your most potent way to leave an impact and make the world a better place. We're going to set up your sales pipeline, and then we'll go over the homework, the specific examples, templates, scripts that I have for you to get the sales pipeline set up. Sound good? Awesome. All right, we'll just shake it out for a second, get the energy flowing, because we're getting rid of the ick. We're reframing sales to replace it with this squeaky clean, empowered energy. So if there's any stiffness in your body, roll the shoulders, take a deep breath, stretch. Oh, and we'll get into it. All right. So these are your new mantras that you're invited to add to your ultimate guide to alignment. I love encouraging my dream clients to get exactly what they desire through the transformation my offer provides. My offer is life-changing. Selling is an art form I am ready to master. My dream clients love buying from me. And I know that you've had an experience of buying something that you loved. Maybe it was a product, maybe it was a service, but the whole interaction, the whole process was just like really feel good. Whether it was someone who, approached you in a store and like helped you find the exact thing that you were looking for. Maybe you didn't even know what you were looking for, but they gave you that high touch personal feel. It felt personalized. It felt like they really cared about you and they really wanted you to get the most out of this experience, like on a human level. Or maybe it was a recommendation for something that you got from a friend and then you tried it out and you were like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. So there are so many ways that selling happens in a really beautiful way, day in and day out. And if we can focus on this energy, if we can focus on these experiences and bring that energy to our selling, it's like a breath of fresh air for people when they're buying from us, and they'll love buying from us. But we do have to clean up our own nerves, our own need to like convince and make sure that we really see the value of what we're putting forward. Because oftentimes that convincing comes from us just not really being sure if what we are offering to the market is something that is highly valuable, highly in demand. So this is always like my invitation to take your testimonials, take any feedback that you've ever gotten from clients or anyone who's ever worked with you and had a positive thing to say, and like print that out and stick it on your mirror. Like put it somewhere that you get to see it on a regular basis, to continue putting yourself in the energy of like, people love what I have to offer. This is important. This is life-changing. We've got more reframes coming, don't worry. So if selling feels icky, if direct outreach feels awkward, if getting rejected feels scary, These are all things that we need to sit with and look at and discover what stories you've been holding on to around money. And let me paint you into this scenario. Like, what would it mean for you to become a rock star at sales and direct outreach and forging authentic feel-good relationships? And in the process to building $1 million brand, you collect 1,000 rejections, like badges of honor, knowing that every no leads you to a more powerful and aligned yes. Or every person who you get on a sales call with and it's a no for you energetically, or just like, there's something off, they're not fully in that dream client archetype and you say no, like that is your like permission slip to understand that when you say no, when they say no, we're just opening up the door for more aligned people to come in. So rejections are protection. Rejections are redirection into a more aligned way, either of going about it or more aligned people coming in. And then, having built this $1 million brand, you're now in a position to become the top donor to the cause or charity that is most dear to your heart. And through this work, the mission of your business expands exponentially as a means through which you impact your community, your country, the world, through your philanthropy, through your vision of what it means for humanity to just step into the most healed, whole, and abundant version of ourselves. Like, this is what's possible for us when we embrace a vision, when we embrace this mission that's so much bigger than our little ego being scared around approaching sales and building this business. I just want to zoom out and give you that perspective because that's exactly what's possible for you. As an entrepreneur, there is no ceiling. There is no cap. Your earning potential is limitless. Your impact is limitless. And I believe this is how we do change the world, is through rockstar entrepreneurs owning their power and then manifesting the change that they want to see. All right, some more reframes. If selling your offer doesn't already feel like self-care, it might be a bit of a process to embrace it and for it to start to feel really good. And awareness is everything. So these are your tools. Notice yourself. As you are posting, as you're sharing content, as you're sharing slides that explain and express your offer, how does it feel? What is the feeling? What's going on in your body? Is it fear? Is it excitement? Is there a way that we can reframe the fear into excitement, knowing that both of these sensations light up the same neural pathways in the brain? Can we examine your thoughts while searching for potential dream customers and sparking conversations? What comes up for you as you're doing direct outreach, as you're finding profiles to engage with? So journal on these topics, sit with these questions, and really consider how you want to feel while selling. How can you intentionally step into this energy instead? And maybe it looks like reading your ultimate guide to alignment, looking at your vision board, really anchoring into the version of you who you are becoming, who you already are. And every time that you remind yourself of who this is, how it feels and what it looks like to be this person, you are her. And maybe that's your way to approach selling in the most empowered way possible. And also, it won't feel scary forever. It's like anything that you're doing for the first time, anything that you are learning to master. There's a learning curve. There's a process for it to become comfortable, for it to become second nature. So you don't have to buckle down forever and convince yourself to do something that feels hard and thinking that it's going to feel hard forever, because it won't. because as long as you commit and as long as you get into this process and you allow yourself to surrender to this structure, it's going to start to feel easier. It's going to start to feel more aligned. You're going to have those experiences where it is beautiful connections and people are so excited to buy from you through this process that just affirms that it's worth it. So empowered selling looks like how you show up for your offer promotion and the energy that you're in while in conversation with potential clients. And this matters way more than what you're saying or the tactics that you're using. And the reminder that people buy and sell every day. Why? Because they're looking for results. They're looking for transformations. They're looking to escape some fear or get to some better future vision, which ultimately is bringing them a sense of safety, a sense of security. So if we can acknowledge this and acknowledge our clients, like through any objections that they might have or through any hesitation in the process, where it's just like, what can I do to make them feel more safe? What can I do to make them feel more heard, more seen, more understood? This is what builds that trust. This is what gives you, like, this is how you become a sales ninja, is by becoming an empathetic person who really cares about people and can read their energy and wants to make them feel safe. So think of buying experiences, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but those experiences that you've had that have been amazing, contrasted to those that haven't felt so good. Can you pinpoint the difference? Can you think about like what kind of selling you respond to versus what kind of selling doesn't feel so good for you? Does anything come up around that for you, Sadie?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's, I guess the bad sales experiences I've had is where I feel you can sense that the person doesn't stand behind what they're selling, or they don't stand behind the product that they're offering, or they're selling for the sake of selling, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, and it doesn't feel like they're behind it, I guess. Or where like they're very poor at reading your energy and it's forced. And that's like, because I feel like, I don't know, sometimes it's just like either you can sense when someone either needs more of a personal touch, they need more space, or yeah, that's kind of when the person is oblivious, like they're just doing a monologue they have learned, and it is they have or not. It's not personalized at all. It's just like, this is what I do, whether you're this type of personality or this type of personality. I'm just pushing it, and it's like it can be. It's like you're like, are you there? Like, are you real? Like, yeah, I've had those experiences where I'm like, you are very poor at reading the room right now.
Yeah. And they're so attached to just getting through their script or making their sale that you're over there dropping all of the not so subtle cues that you can think of, and they're just not picking up on any of it. And yeah, that's exactly it, because they've taken the human relationship, they've taken like the personalness out of it, and they're not approaching it from a relationship kind of standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, someone could sell you this same product, or I mean, I would honestly, like, even if one product was maybe a little less, had less to offer than the other, but I had a better relationship with the person that was offering less and I felt like more comfortable with them, I much rather have that bond over just, because it's like, that's what you're going to remember. You're going to remember the person as well.
Yeah, 100%. You're going to remember how they made you feel. And when they make you feel important, when they make you feel seen and heard and understood, like, that's priceless. You can't put a price tag on that. And people will come back again and again to a product, to a service that has that level of, just expertise. It's incredible. It's profound. Awesome. All right. So some more reminders, some more affirmations. You don't need clients. You need the right clients. You need aligned clients. You need dream clients, because when you're just opening yourself up to work with anyone who's going to make your life miserable, who's going to be an absolute pain in the neck to work with. And that gets back to what we were talking about, is like when you're focusing on making a sale versus investing in a relationship, the lose-lose. So this is the affirmation. I don't need clients. I'm excited to partner with those who are ready to invest in themselves. I'm not here to convince. My offer is amazing, but if you don't see the value in it, then it's not for you. And this one is so powerful because people see the value or they don't. And if they see the value, they don't need you to convince them of the value. And if they don't see the value, there's no amount of convincing that you can possibly do that's going to let them see it. So this is one of the clear distinctions, like first and foremost, that separates the kind of people that you are available to work with versus the ones that you aren't. Finally, I am the one who sets the energy of my spaces, my social media, my offers, the space where you actually do your business when you're in person. For you, Sadie, for Hunter, like when you walk into a room and you are there to provide your service, you are the leading energy in that space. And yes, you get to adapt to the needs and like be very energetically attuned to what your clients are asking for, but you are a sovereign individual and you are showing up as a leader. And this is so important so that they can relax into your leadership and really trust that, like, oh, okay, she's got it. She's got a method. She's got a process. She's got me taken care of. Now I can relax. The difference is when you show up to a coaching call for Hannah, or to these spaces with your clients in person, and you're asking them to lead or them to set the tone or to direct how things are going, then they don't get to relax. And then that kind of violates the trust between you, because they're taking like cues from me. And I was really hoping that I could just relax into this experience and they could lead me through it and they could set the tone and I could just like be along for the ride. You know, they want to be taken care of. So that's so important for you to show up in that sovereign energy in those spaces, on your social media, in the context of your offers. My followers, my engagement, my clients do not dictate my energy or the energy of my spaces. And when we think back to the module on energetics, where I went through that spectrum, that energy spectrum of consciousness. So how you meet people where they are is like by identifying exactly where they're at on that spectrum. Maybe somebody's really anxious. So you meet them at just a level higher than anxiety. So you're meeting them where they're at, but just a little bit higher. So you can still relate, you can still make them feel seen and understood, but you can also call them forward into a little bit more groundedness, into a little bit more like, okay, I hear you. You're anxious. You have fears around what's going on and how it's all going to pan out. But this is my process. I've got it covered. And your energy is going to do more than your explanation of how things are going to go. Because when you meet them in that level of just like a little bit higher than where they're at, then they can trust. They can trust your leadership. And energetically, their energy body responds to yours. And they're ready to follow. They're ready to go wherever you're going to lead. All right. Now let's talk about your sales funnel. This is your simple, permission-based approach to welcoming dream clients into your high-ticket offer. And we're going to go over this in general terms and talk about the different steps, and know that we'll go over the homework to make it a lot more concrete as far as what this gets to look like in each of the different steps. So step one is your organic marketing, your social media, the face of your brand. And this is covered in great detail in our next module. So it's important to get the whole sales pipeline set up before turning on your magnetic marketing machine. So For those of you like Hannah, who's active on social media, like I really encourage this throughout the process, because I don't want you to get stuck in that mindset of like, oh, I need to know exactly what I'm doing before I show up. It's like, no, keep showing up. That quantity creates quality. And also we'll go into the strategy. We'll go into the specific post types that you get to execute that will paint the picture of your offer and expressing it and explaining it in the most compelling way. Your magic sales page or your landing page is the last key step that your marketing is leading your potential dream clients to. So your organic marketing is all about explaining and expressing your offer, helping potential dream clients get to know you, get to see the value of what you offer, and get excited to create insane results for themselves, because they'll be seeing case studies, client testimonials, social proof from other people. And that's really calling them forward into like, oh, that's exactly what I want, right? So social marketing, organic marketing is the wide net that you cast. And like we were talking about in the beginning, before jumping into this training, I was talking with Sadie about it. For those of you listening to the recording, it's like, this is more to showcase the fact that you're active, you're showing up, and this adds to your credibility and your authority. It's a necessary piece, but like in this day, in 2025, it's pretty rare for your social media itself to be the conversion factor. So this is what adds to awareness. People are going to see your content. They might resonate with it. They might be stalking your profile and eating up all of the posts that you put out there. They might be loving your content. But typically, especially for high ticket offers, we need more. We need more of a either demonstration of what it can be like to be in your world, like a little free sampler, a little tasty, a little taster, a little freebie, or like a high touch DM conversation leading to that sales call. So this is where the next step looks like direct outreach. So I'll explain exactly how to do this when we go over the homework for the authentic conversations and lead generation. But just know that direct outreach speeds along the process of your dream clients getting comfortable with you and getting ready to invest in themselves with you. So even someone who is really like fully convinced by your organic marketing will probably want to hop in the DMs and experience some one-on-one connection and conversation before pulling the trigger and jumping into your high ticket offer. Or, they might skip the outreach. They might see your content and they might go straight to booking a consultation. But if your schedule is not booked out with consultations, if like your sales funnel is not full, this is your invitation to have a direct outreach, like system, like have it be part of your routine, where every week you make a list of 25 people who you could possibly reach out to. And every day you reach out to 5 of those people. Maybe they're friends who you are texting. Maybe they're people who are following you on social media. Maybe they are past clients. Maybe they are colleagues or people in your network, or just anyone who you genuinely want to connect with and send that connection message to. And this number in mind, like the strategy behind 25 is you're thinking, okay, if 20% want to hop on a call or do a consultation with me, or if they can connect me with other people who do, because like maybe some of these friends aren't people who are interested in your offers, but maybe they know someone who is looking for this kind of service, who is looking for this kind of program, or maybe they know someone who they can connect you to. So these 25 reach outs, these 25 conversations, you're either connecting with people directly who are potential customers, potential leads, or you're connecting with them from that friendship space and finding out if they know anyone who, like, for example, is getting married in the next year and needs to nail down who's going to be bartending at their wedding bar, who, like, where they're going to be hosting it. Are they looking for venues maybe? And like, that's something that you can help them with, Sadie. So connecting authentically, being interested in where they're at, what's going on in their lives, sharing where you're at and what's going on in your life. And then very very genuinely just asking for help. It's like, hey, do you know anyone, or who do you know who's interested in what I have going on? Can you connect me in a 3-way message? Can you give me their contact info? Can you reach out on my behalf? This is what it looks like. Okay, so you can also bring in new leads into your world by sparking conversations that inspire them to check out your content and learn more. So you can go hunting for leads as well on Instagram. So when people are not currently in your audience, not currently following you, the way that I like to go about doing this is like through a process of warming them up first. So if I feel like I need more leads or I need more people to reach out to, I will go look on accounts in my industry, like accounts that are larger than mine, accounts that I really like, and who have a decent amount of engagement on their posts. I'm not looking at their followers. I'm looking at people who engage with their posts. So I'll go to a recent post and I'll look at the people who have commented. I'll look at the people who have liked it, and I'll pull up their profiles. And if I feel any kind of resonance, or if there's anything about their bio, like for me, I'm looking for entrepreneurs, I'm looking for coaches, I'm looking for service providers. And I'm looking for, someone who's got like maybe a similar kind of feel to the way that they're expressing themselves online as me. So like a face forward brand. But just apply this to, your own niche and what you're looking for. But find those bigger accounts, look at those engaged followers on the posts. And if any of those profiles, some of them surely will, you can go on and engage with their content, view their stories, like their posts. And this is another thing that I just want to preface the marketing module with is like, if you are posting and you want engagement on your posts, guess what that means? You get to engage with other people's posts. You get to leave likes and you get to leave comments and you get to spread the love before you get excited about receiving the love. And this is what it feels like when somebody comes through and likes your content or leaves a thoughtful comment, and just like sees you and acknowledges you. It feels really good. So from that little tap on the shoulder, some of those accounts will come over and follow you. And then once they engage with your content a little bit, maybe some time goes by, maybe you're kind of liking each other's stuff back and forth. Maybe they are viewing stories, liking posts. As soon as they start to engage a little bit, like even just viewing a story for me, that's a sign that like, oh, they're a little bit interested in what I'm doing. So now I'm going to spark a conversation around something that I noticed in their content, something that resonated with me about them and what they're doing. And maybe I'll ask a question or just look for a point of connection there. So that is a way to bring new leads in once you feel like you've reached out to your entire warm audience, which I kind of doubt would happen because that would mean that you would reach out to every single one of your followers, of the contacts in your phone. And maybe not everyone is like an aligned person to reach out to. But I know that all of us in our warm audience like have at least 500 people to connect with. So that's a lot right there to just start pumping this direct outreach muscle of connection and asking for referrals and just connecting with people heart to heart. All right. So this is what the breakdown looks like as you are doing direct outreach and you are filling that sales pipeline, that sales funnel. So first, you're sending a message to an engaged follower. We talked about what that meant, viewing stories, liking posts, following you back. You are sending a message to connect with someone further that you met at a networking event, whether in person or virtual. Anytime that you connect with someone anywhere and you get contact information with them, for them, from them, words, you need to follow up. You need to pursue that connection. You need to see what's available there. Even if it doesn't come to anything, even if they don't happen to know anyone and you don't really vibe with them, it's still good practice. And I genuinely feel like everybody comes into our world for a reason. And that's always your invitation to see what that reason is and why they've been placed in your path. So you are finding out, are they the type of person that you can serve? Or do they know anyone else that you can serve? And then you're asking for those referrals. Step 3, after you've engaged a little bit, you found out that they are in fact someone who you can help, you can send them a freebie. And I have some examples of what this could look like if this is an avenue that you are ready to pursue in your sales and marketing funnel. Otherwise, you can invite them to book a consultation call directly. And these consultation calls will be free, and you're just you're explaining it in a way that it's a chance to get to know one another more. And in your case, Sadie, it's like, yeah, we need to talk about what your vision is for the wedding and how that can work within my signature process. So you book the consultation call, you go over the process, you make sure it is a perfect fit, they sign with you, and you enroll them and you get them into that welcome sequence, and then you celebrate because you just got a new client. Makes sense? Is there any clarity that I can provide for you on that process?
It makes a lot of sense.
Okay, awesome. All right. So the magic sales page, your landing page, is there to outline the offer, communicate the benefits, the features, the deliverables, and introduce you as the competent guide. So this is everything that we went over in the offer creation module. So this qualifies your leads and invites the right people into the sales conversation with you. And we've been going over this a couple times, but my final recommendation is going to be to leave the price out of the magic sales page, because this is what you want to go over in the sales call, especially if it's a like if you have different packages and if the pricing is going to be really dependent on the size of the wedding, for instance, or how many rooms in the house that they want organized, or the scope of the work, like that's when you get to come up with a custom proposal for them or outline these different packages. And then, let them know that we will discuss the investment on the call. Even for coaching offers, Hannah's, for instance, maybe you do have a set baseline price, but I think it's great to be able to outline the whole program and the whole process, and then talk about add-ons or bonuses, or like what the different options are that could have different prices attached, or communicate a fast action bonus, things like that. And doing this in a conversation is just so much easier to convey than putting that all in your page. So doing it this way makes it so that you have a chance to build that rapport, make sure it's a perfect fit first, and also it will allow your clients to really see the value of your offer. And the offer is so much more than what it's priced as, right? And when you're explaining and expressing the value, they won't be making decisions purely based on that investment alone and getting really tied up in the number, because it is about the whole experience. It's about the transformation. Cool. All right. And then we have the sales call. Yes, booking sales calls consistently is the number one goal for you when building your business. And the only way to get good at navigating these conversations is to practice, right? I do have a script for you that's proven to convert and will give you peace of mind for this crucial final piece of your sales pipeline. You will need to customize it, especially the latter portion where it gets into outlining the offer for each of your different offers. But yeah, this will take you through the entire conversation, which really starts with you just taking leadership in the very beginning by pre-framing the conversation and what you're here to talk about, letting them know that, like for instance, if they are booking a connection call, if they're booking an audit with you, like for a coaching offer, and you're really positioning this call as a way for you to serve them, let them know that, like, I am here to serve you really powerfully, first and foremost. At the end, I do want you to know that there's a way to work with me in a longer term container, get incredible results through that process, way more than we can cover today. But we can go into that later if you want to. Right now, I'm just here to serve you. For consultation calls, for the event bartending and for the organizing or house sitting, that will probably be, it'll still be necessary to pre-frame, but they'll be hopping on the call with the understanding that they're here to talk about what it would look like to work together. So you'll just pre-frame by saying that we're going to talk about, where you're at, where you want to be by the end of this experience, like your vision for it all and what that looks like. I'll walk you through my steps, my process for how I bring your vision to life. And then we'll talk about the investment, what it looks like to work together, and how to get you signed up. All of that. More tips. Okay, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but managing your energy and matching the energy of your prospective client, then slightly increasing your energy to invite them to vibrate a little higher through the conversation. And this call, like this consultation, this audit, this experience is a taste of what it's like to work with you. Ultimately, people buy feelings based on resonance. Your energy is the container. The results you promise are simply an avenue to feeling what they desire to experience. So the results, the transformation, like we make it tangible as possible when we're explaining it, when we're selling, when we're expressing it. But truly, it is going to be an energetic shift that happens in their bodies. And they'll get a little taste of what it's like to step into that energetic shift through your energy and through this call. And that's what's going to be doing the selling just as much as the script and what you're saying. Awesome. Does that all make sense?
It does.
Landing?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, we'll go over the homework. Just final reminder that the very best sales training will come from your own experience. So let's dive in and we'll go over exactly how you can get started selling today. And I am going to go ahead and stop this recording and start another one. Where's my window? Here we go.